access a port, draw blood cultures and labs. My hands have been washed, and I'm going to make sure I kind of know where I'm going for my port access. Okay, once I've done that, I'm going to open my sterile field, and I have a helper who's going to make sure that we get all of our additional supplies on the sterile field. These kits are going to be found in your Pyxis. We all use the same one house-wide. When you first open up this kit, there's a mask that we're going to put on. If by some chance you have a parent who's helping hold or a child who's going to be breathing on that site, you want to make sure they're masked as well. We have 2 sets of sterile gloves. These are medium. If you need smaller or larger gloves, you can get 2 sets out of the Pyxis. Now we're going to fix our sterile field. In our dressing change kit, we have alcohol swabs, a second set of gloves, our dressing, our skin prep, chlor prep, and a few other items that you probably will not even need. Some gauze, scissors, sterile tape. My helper is going to prepare my syringes, put those on my sterile field along with our clave, a bio patch, the needle, remember we cannot use our pre-filled salines and heparins to go on a sterile field. It tells you so on the outside of the package. Even though the solution is sterile inside the syringe, they're not packaged sterilely. So the first thing I'm going to do is pop my chlor prep, and I'm going to clean the site. The 30-second scrub. The goo off. And while that's drying, we're going to get our saline ready. So my helper's going to help me get some saline. Usually get about 3 to 5 mLs. Go ahead and prime your clave so that'll be ready for you. And then we're going to need our needle. Okay. And then one more saline. This one I'm going to use to prime the needle. We never want to draw cultures through the clave, regardless of whether this is a new access or an access that's already in place. Especially with glucose-containing fluids and TPNs, we can get some false results. With your bio patch, you want to always make sure that the glue goes to the sky. And I'll put that right around there so that all this is ready to go. Now when I'm ready to actually start my access process, my helper has cleaned the top of the blood culture bottles and put the transfer devices on there for me. I'm going to change gloves. And now I'm ready to actually access my port. Remember that there is a cover over your needle, and you may have to kind of hang on to the needle with the clay, with the bio patch in place so that you don't drop it. Okay, we're going to access the port. Ideally, we want to make sure that we're taping our lines upward, but you don't have to access them upward. We just need to make sure we can loop them if necessary. So the waste I get will go into my blood culture bottles. Remember, 0.5 to 5 mLs. So that's for my helper. I'm also going to draw a CBC and electrolyte panel for this patient. So I'm going to get a couple of mLs for that. My clave is already primed, so ready for that to flush. My patient is being very still. If I had one that was active, I would go ahead and put my dressing on. The skin prep actually creates a mesh-like substance that almost looks like a spider web, and it will help the dressing adhere to the patient so that the adhesive is not directly on the skin. It adheres to the skin prep. If you have any issues with making sure you're occlusive, all of these dressings have an op site attached to the side of them, so that can be used to further secure the dressing if needed. We just want to make sure that no air can get in. Remove your dressing, and then as needed, you can add additional. Please don't take regular tape and try to secure these off. This needs to be either a secondary dressing or replace the whole thing if it becomes non-occlusive. And then once we're in place, we just want the line to go upward, whether it's taped upward or you've accessed it with the tubing upward, either one of those.